We back. Back up and running, everybody. Got her going. Last freaking 15 minutes of the day or so, but we're going to trade it out together. Doggone it, man. I don't know what happened. Had complete internet drop off. No internet activity at all. And now we're back up and running. And we're gunning, folks. We're back for the last close of the day before an extended weekend. And we're going to share another cold beer. I should have not come up yet. I went and got my new cold one, but I am back. Doggone it. We're going to watch this stock, Sofi, run out wherever it does into the day. We're going to be here for it. We're going to see it. And we might even play a little music this afternoon if you want to stick around for some jamming. I'm thinking about it. I don't know for sure. You guys want to hear some music? Thumbs up me or something and let me know. Try and get this thing to run right here. All right. What the hell? I don't know, man. Shut me right out. Well, my internet just completely went out completely. I even called my wife to ask if she had any. I couldn't get anything on my phone either. I didn't know if I thought everything collapsed. I thought it was the end of the world as we knew it for a little bit there. But I'm okay with it right now. We're going to be fine. And we're going to be fine with the price at 682 and now at 730. And the price before that low of 682 was 641, and the price below that low, 641, was $4.45, people. And the price lower before that was 421 or 424. I know one thing for sure, the lowest it ever was I think 421 or 424. But I'm back here with you for the very end of this show today. 6 people with me. Good. Well, I'm sorry I had to get cut off, but it is what it is. Extreme weather, serious weather conditions here in our area. And it just gives me a chance to get up to another 100 viewers today, maybe. I hear you, Jeff. And all you others that are here with me, 12 people, thank you. We're going to watch this and ride it out for the last 9 minutes of the day. And no matter what, I can assure you I'm going to be very happy. Because that's the kind of person I am, regardless. And I can assure you of this, that no short wants to see a 200-day moving average move from 670 to 816, where it is now. Even though the price is at 730 today, the 200-day moving average is at 816, everyone. And I'm just going to remind you of that. Yeah, I'm back to remind everybody that the bright side is still there on this cloud. Don't worry, crap happens. And when you're on an airplane and you get that luggage up above there at the end of the flight, when you go up to move it out of there, make sure you be careful because shift happens. Just like he said, Jeff did. We got 19 folks tuning in here to WSFI Radio who just came back online. Had to take a brief break while we figured out what was technically wrong. And it was just an absolute internet gone, internet shut down. I think they just got an overload. The gaming community in my area, all these ritzy rich people with all their kids that have all these computers that are processing it and taking up all that bandwidth and shutting us off. Little bastards. Anyway, right now, folks, take a look at where we are and take a look at where we were. All right? That's all I can do. That's all I can offer you as condolence today is take a look at where we are and take a look at where we were. Okay? Take a look at how many shorts shorted this week, well below where we are, and over the last month and over the last 6 months, far below where we are right now. and they're not returning their shares. And you better think about that too. All right. At least we got her back up for you hardcore people that know that I'm not going to let you down. It sure wasn't me. Whenever I lose screen, I'll be back up as fast as I can. I actually got set back up for just a brief second, and I had 2 likes on them, and boom, they went off again. But man, these intense winds we've got coming out of the northeast here, man, it's just howling, heavy duty winds right now. You can just hear it outside. It sounds like a tornado blowing out there almost all the time. It's intense. Trees are swaying all over the place, limbs snapping off all over the yards. Anyway, it's worse right when you get near sundown, as you always should know. You should know this. So I'm happy, man. 730, 354. Price was in the sixes, now in the sevens, on its way to the eights, nines, and tens. Would I have loved to see it make a nice run this afternoon right into the closing? Yeah, I sure would love to have seen that. But the shorts would love to have seen that they didn't have to use $40 million this afternoon either to make the price fall. But they did. SoFi institutions rising. Burnt Barons have found you again. Ooh, yeah, you get to lose another calorie. Oh, yeah, hit that. Let's hit that like button at 3:56. No, let's do it right at 4 o'clock, right at the closing bell. Nah, we'll do it at 3:56. Let's get more likes at 3:56. Help me out here in 45 seconds, Hope. Hopefully we can get another 10 more likes out of today. Because we get to double down on the likes and we get to double down on everybody visiting here. And yeah, I made it back. I made it back for the end of the day because I want to close out the day with a smile on our faces. And we have a reason to be smiling. Uh-oh, look at SoFi. Calling out the volume for you, ladies and gentlemen. Calling out the volume. Look at the time they're showing here on Yahoo. It says 3:49 p.m. on there. It's really 3:55. There we go. Let's get to the real volume. We're at 27,441, 407. And boy, howdy, I thought for sure when they ran out of that 4.5 million, did they borrow the rest of them this afternoon? Is that what they did? Is that what they did? Did they borrow the rest? Jeff Presley, major markets closing week, and small caps, and Russell's not bad. I know. Oh, yeah. Saw that. Russell was good. Russell was good. Yep. But I want to get over here and I want to look at short interest. Regarding SoFi, the following can triggers a short squeeze more than 23% interest to shorters. Yep. 23%. That's big time, people. That's big. That's right. 23.23% of SoFi's technology shares are currently sold short. They're the highest that's ever been. 209 million shares have to be one day returned, everyone. Keep that in mind. There it is, short interest, 209 million, 896, 269. They're showing here interest at 21.3, but that just goes to show you they aren't accurate as to the day. Off exchange short volume, 48.4%. It's all worth this to know and be understanding of as we watch them try with no volume here, folks. Here we are, 3 minutes left, 27,922, 27,923, 24, 26, 27,927, so 27,928, 27,930, 27,932, 30, 47, 15,000 there, 27,955, 957, 104. That was a 50,000 share right there. 28,123, 28,124, 28,127, 28,128, 28,129. Look at all the 3,000 share ones coming through. There's a 9,000 share. 28,143, 146, 28,149. See all the 3,000s? 28,153, 154, 157, another 3,000, another 3,000. Oh boy, that was a 43,000 share right there. 28,251, 256, 260, 28,263, 28,268, 270, 272, 28,287, 295. Getting bigger, folks. 28,307. We got the last minute here to trade. 28,318, 323, 324, 327. 28,337, 347, 57, 10,000 at a time now. 23,380, 377, 28,546, 28,557, 28,568, 28,570, 28,574, 575, 28,585. 10,000 shares, folks. 28,598, 28,607, 633, 643. Price is back to 730. 28,674, 28,689, 28,707. And let me explain to you why you should be happy about the close that we just had. Ladies and gentlemen, the reason that you should be happy about the close that we just had is because if you look at the historical data, we had a big gain on the low today from 717 to 729. Beautiful. Nice. That's why we should be happy. And look at the price already in after hours. We're green in after hours. And we'll be greener even yet. Well, folks, it's time. 4 p.m. Coming over here to institutional ownership. Scrolling down here to see how many shares are left. I got filled at 7:30. All right. Catfish, you got it, man. I told you, the crooks, don't let this pass 750. Eric Moderno, yep, you were right. But I told you, well, not you, I didn't tell you, I was telling somebody else. I think it was very negative on here. Oh man, this thing's just dropping. No, it's not. You better take a look at that 200-day moving average. It's gone from 670 up to 816 over 200 days. It's gone from $6.70 to 816. Now I know where today's closing price is. I'm no idiot, but I know where it's going to be. I'm no idiot, like I just said. 40 people on this channel with me right now. I want to thank you for coming on back over. And if any one of you people on this channel cannot look at a 6-month chart and cannot see what's been happening and cannot be patient enough to wait, when we already know the last time they drove Sofi down to 771 and took it to 1016, back down to 894 and took it to 1170. We already know they can do that, and we know they have in the past. All right, Tyson, nice. Filled the order at 7:30 for 1,370 shares. And not only that, my friend, you help support this stock by taking those shares away from shorters to longs, someone who's going to hold and sit on it. Nice. And my presumption is, based on what I just saw occur, Sofi will continue to climb from here. We had a very good week, people. We did. We saw a 2.5% gain, and they tried to take it all the way, and then it went back up 2.5, and today it didn't drop, did it? No. I mean, 6 cents. Come on, people. It's going to gain those back in the after hour. Somebody said the shorts won today. I guarantee you, they're scared. The price has gone 200-day moving average from 670 to $8.10, no matter how much they've tried to manipulate it in between with downgrades and the BS and the FUD. It'll all be, the rubber will be meeting the road, everybody, come this next earnings call. And SoFi's going to blow doors. Our man Anthony Noto is going to step up to the plate and deliver like he always does, and this company's going to keep on delivering like they always do. And some people said, "Oh man, it kind of stinks that SoFi's moved back their launch date for their delivery of their earnings. They were supposed to be April 29th, and now they've moved it back." And I think it was a great move because I think SoFi is going to couple the next. I think the next meeting, the Fed is going to announce that they're going to drop like they've been promising. Because on this last one, they told everybody, "Hey, we're most likely going to drop 3 times over the next between the rest of this year." I think it was perfect for Anthony to maybe take a risk, a little bit of a risk, and say, "Well, why don't I just wait 1 week and see if they do?" We already saw the last time, folks, the market reacted well when they did not move the interest rate down. We saw a nice jump, okay? That was part of what helped propel SoFi upwards, of course. We saw that nice gain that day of about, what was it, 6% or so. It was nice. And we saw that, and we're going to possibly, if they stay flat again, see that jump again. But if we don't stay flat and they drop it like they said they do 3 times this year yet, and they drop it, that was a genius move because we'll see a pop of 5 or 6% on the drop of the rate, or maybe even higher, maybe 10, because we saw a rise on no drop. But if it drops, folks, this thing, she's going up. All right. Just be patient. Okay. And I think the move from April 29th to May the 6th is going to be killer for all of us for another reason, because I think it could be possible SoFi just doesn't have enough people on hand to count all the effing money they've made, and they need time. They couldn't do it on April 29th. The pile of money's too freaking big, and they got too much time to count all that damn money that they're going to be producing. You just saw that they just announced to the SEC a $1.8 billion increase again. This company is just making money. All right, Elaine. Yep. Happy Easter. That's right, to each and every one of you, for sure. Enjoy tomorrow off, Saturday, Sunday. Have a blessed weekend. Enjoy. Don't let the rabbit get you distracted from what's really going on. Rabbits don't lay eggs. Oh, sorry, maybe I shouldn't be saying that. Yeah, there's always something like Santa to take you away from the real meaning of Christmas, and there's always something like a rabbit to take you from the real meaning of Jesus being born and his crucifixion and all of it. Both of them. There's a distraction from it, folks, and don't get distraction. Keep focused. It's all about God and what he's done for us in our lives. Amen. All right, everybody. I'm going to get on out of here, I guess. I guess I have one more beer with those that want to stick it out. You guys didn't say you wanted to hear any music, so I'm not going to play any music, I guess. I was thinking about finishing with a few original songs, but hold on a minute. Time for a cold one, and then we'll come back and we'll celebrate with you with a cold one. Just give me a minute. And to all these people, I'm so grateful for your contributions. Okay, everybody, I'm out of here. Time for a cold brew. All right. Here we are, ladies and gentlemen. Cheers to each and every one of you. Make sure you know how to pour that beer right. Get it on in there and make yourself that perfect nickel head. If you put more than a nickel head on there, we're going to have to slap you around like the red-headed stepchild. Brew Tank, come on in here with me now. Time for us to commiserate. Commiserate. There you go, folks. Nickel head for you. Yeah. Let's get up here. There's nothing to see out there in the world. Let's just have some fun. Nickel head, baby. Nickel head. Oh, it's gorgeous. You can't really see it in that light correctly, but it's there. We got some. Oh yeah. How does shorting bring the stock price down? Well, it's simple. Shorts are, instead of what we're doing, buying at the bottom and wanting to see it go up and sell at the top, they borrow shares, and those shares they start selling them to make the price go down, because in the beginning, when they borrow their shares, they're borrowing them at a price of, let's say, $7.50. And if it goes down to $7.20, when they return the shares, meaning they buy back in, because they're selling all those shares. And when they buy back in, then they return them to the broker, and they pay a small percentage. And sometimes that percentage that they pay gets higher and higher depending on how many shares are left to borrow. And right now, the shares are getting very slim for them to borrow. Okay. Uh-oh, I don't have my, yeah, I do. Got a bit of a delay here. So the scenario more recently is they've got troubles. Now let me refresh this page over here. I'm refreshing this because there gets to be a delay sometimes in it. And we just refired this thing here just about 20 minutes ago, so I don't know why there'd be such a delay on it. But I like to try to respond to your comments when you put them in real time. So, when the volume is only, 15, 20 million shares a day, and then they come in and they borrow 5 million shares like they did today, 4.5 million, they can make the price because they're selling so many of those shares in the mix. And now they're supposed to, at some point, they borrowed the shares, so they have to return them. But lately, we've been seeing a lot of failure to deliver, meaning they're not able to deliver those shares back to the brokerages. And that's where things get tough for them, okay? Because that's what they call naked shorting, basically, okay? Meaning they don't have the damn money and shit. They're just hoping the price will freaking fall here. We don't get ourselves in that situation. We don't get ourselves in the pickle they find themselves in right now, everybody. All right. Uh, let me look here. Tyson Durfee, my 7:30 order got filled. Good. Elaine, yes, sir. Happy Easter, Cat. See you on Monday. David G, PCE coming out tomorrow. I think that's why the market sold off. Many stocks closed red today. Yep. David G, very alert and aware of that. JM Catfish, can you please explain? I just did. Jeff Presley, funny how PCE is released on a market close day, isn't it? Should have moved the date. No crap, but that's the way this thing's being run. David Cham shorts are borrowing shares of a company, let's say for $10, while they are selling them. If the price goes down, they give them back for a lower price. The difference is their profit. Right. What I don't understand is why they continue borrowing SoFi shares endlessly. Well, they don't. That's the thing. They continue to borrow them, but it's not going to be endless. It's not going to be endless, everybody. Okay? There's not just an endless supply of shares, okay? That's not going to happen. They will dwindle away and they will be taken up by a lot of institutions over time until when they're not owned by only 39% by institutions, they'll be owned by 70%, then 80%, then 90%, because the more they profit each quarter that they announce profitability, I expect to see them make a very nice advanced move forward with more and more institutionals coming in. Institutions don't want to necessarily get in on one quarter's out of 2 years of performance, one quarter that they profit, they turn profit, gap profitable. Can you do it again? Can you repeat it? Then you're starting to show a pattern. All right. And we'll see that pattern. Anyway, let me make sure that I have the size of my figure down here. We'll take a little bit look back here at what's happening on the live screen. I just want to watch it myself a little bit. But Cham says, thank you, Catfish and David G, for the explanation. David G, are you from David G Investing? Cham is asking. JP Panek, yeah, have a great weekend, Catfish. It'll be trading crypto now that I've sold some profits there and mostly around Cardano ecosystem, aka meme coins, like aka shite coins. I hear you, JP Panek. Cham, got it. Yep. Smiley face. Names are too familiar. Yep. Too similar. Those of you that are here with me right now, I want you to know that we got a lot of movement coming here our direction, I believe, between now and 1 week and 2 days before the earnings call. I still feel in my gut feeling like these guys that like to shove things around with SoFi are going to shove it right on up to tens because they got to start covering all those shorted positions. Not to mention, everybody's going to be talking and the word's going to be swirling. Man, profitability. SoFi's going to step up and it's going to tell all these shorters, oh, by the way, we told everybody that we had a deal with one of the top 5 banks and we couldn't disclose but who it was because of the secrecy they want to keep. They don't want everyone to know that they're using SoFi. They just want to keep excelling and show their customers how good they are. And they don't care to make it public knowledge that they're using SoFi. And so there's a deal that's made with this top 5 bank, and they've agreed they won't tell who they are. But I don't give a damn. They will tell you how much money they made off of this bank. That'll be on the bottom line this next earnings call. And not only will it be from this bank that they just got that deal with, there's many other banks that they have currently and over the past year been nurturing relationships with using this proven program they've got with Galileo and Technisys. They have a proven positive program that outperforms anything that these big legacy banks or larger banks or even all the community banks had. And they've all started using SoFi's program and they're all seeing very good results. And more of the smaller banks have become part of the SoFi community because SoFi's been testing this, and what they've got is a proven what they call with the top 5 bank was what they're doing is they're proving that this works. It's basically is what it is. Okay. And so anyway, and as I keep reiterating to you, they've got many other offers from many other big banks on the table right now. Many offers from many big banks are on their table. Brew Tank, cheers to you. All right, $10 in April. Yeah. And it actually, Brew Tank, I don't know if you knew, but they've moved back the earnings date to May the 6th. And on that day, I'm going to be on the highway, and I'm going to be going through one of the most beautiful areas of the United States, and I'm going to be going to one of the more even beautiful areas of the United States on May the 7th. And on May the 8th, I'm going to be waking up in out on the east coast in Maine, up in Cape Cod. I'm sorry, Cape Cod. We're going to be up there. I was thinking Maine because I was going to try to see one of my friends that lives in Maine, and it's not that far from Cape Cod. But at any rate, who knows what we'll end up doing because we kind of go spur of the moment, my wife and I, when we get out on the road. But one thing's for sure, we're going to be on the highway on May the 6th, and we're going to be traveling through some of the most beautiful, and I'm going to show it live. When we were on the road before, we had 5,000 views in 2 hours from people when we were on the road. Somehow it was linking up with TikTok too at the same time. And anyway, we got ourselves a tiger by the tail here for Shorty. And the biggest problem for them is today, again, out of all those shares that they just had to sell long positions to cover. For those of you that are on the channel right now, I have a theory. And my theory is this. My theory is the reason the shorts were able to return so many shares, okay? Because if you look over here at institutional ownership, institutional ownership went up, okay? Institutional ownership went up, Muhammad, David, but they already got it with 10 US dollars. How can they give it back with lower price? Think Outdoors, cheers, up to $10 April. Yep. Muhammad, David G. But they already got it with 10 US dollars. How can they give it back with a lower price? Because all the shares that they borrowed up there, they sold. There, I know it's hard to understand, but believe us, they're using the shares they borrow to drive the price down by selling them out, selling them out, selling them, selling. And people buy them, retailers buy them, and they keep dropping the price by selling so many shares that they borrowed. And then when they get down here, they got to buy those shares back. And when they start buying them, returning them, they made profit from the price that fell to what it went to down here. If it dropped a whole dollar, then they made a dollar on every share. If they had 500 shares, they made $500. Thank you for letting me know that, Daniel Davis, that he just saw Fidelity Investments and Pizza Hut. I appreciate that. Muhammad, David G, but they already got it at 10. They borrowed it at 10. Oh man, but you got a problem though when you start borrowing shares like they did back in April and May that you can't return and you run out of shares. You got to call and get the help of all those downgrades to get you out of that hole. And that's what they did. We've already proven that to you. Today I went back over here. I don't have a lot of these pages back open up yet, but I guess I will. I'm going to show you this one here, cost to borrow. This one is important to understand how they were able to drive SoFi's price down today. And they didn't just do it on shares they borrowed. They had to go into their own pockets again. They had to sell a lot of shares of SoFi, and I can prove it here. All right, when you go over here to SoFi institutions, which I'm going to do right now so you can understand how this all worked out, or what my theory is, I'm going to mention to you again, this is just my theory. I cannot guarantee you anything. I can just show you my theory. And my theory is that when you look at institutional ownership, it rose from 799 to 800 today. That was another long only position that was opened. But look over here. Yesterday's institutional shares owned was a 39.85%. All right. That 39.85% has now dropped to 37.20. Why? Well, a lot of shares had to be returned that were being borrowed because they didn't have any left and they need to borrow and return a bunch of shares that were being borrowed. And all these that had been borrowed here, they had to return all these to get it back built up to 3 point something million. And they actually had it at 6.7 million at one point. And weird, I don't even see that right now. But see, here to make the price drop, they borrowed a bunch on March the 28th and March the 20th, and that's the, you know what today is. So they borrowed a bunch of shares. And then, but here's the catch. This is the 26th and 27th. They were returning all those shares by selling their long positions to cover their shorted positions. They are not simply in the game at a short position only, and they're not a long. There are 29 of them that are long and short. And so they have to cover their shorted positions when they have to be returned. And so when all these shares had to be returned over here, they had to get them back. They had to start buying to do that, and the price naturally went up. But once they got them all back, they borrowed them all again. My God, they borrowed them all again. They borrowed them all again. They had it all the way back up here to this many shares returned, 7.1 million today, and then they had to borrow them all again. Look at that. From 7.1 million shares, they borrowed again today to make it drop all the way down to where they only had at one point 1.3 million shares. That's a lot of shares. 6.5 million basically. 6.6 million shares borrowed. They're trying to get back up to 10 million shares, but the problem is they owe a lot more than that out there. So now you can understand, hopefully, why institutional ownership went up from 799 to 800, but institutional shares owned went down because there's a lot of shares that had to be returned, folks. If you look here, you can see that they were all the way down to having only 450,000 shares right there, folks, 2 days ago. And they had to start returning those shares. All right. And over here, you can see they were down to 400,000 shares there. They're doing this every week at 4 in the morning. There it was, 3:30 in the morning. They were down to 300,000 shares. But they had to return these shares. You understand? They had to buy them back and return them. And the only way they could return the shares was by selling their long positions. That is what they did. That is my opinion. This is why I believe SoFi now has more institutions than they've ever had, and the institutional ownership dropped because those that were long and short were forced to sell their long positions to buy back the shares so they could return those shares that I'm showing you right here that they recently returned and got back up to 7.1. But to show you how dire their straits are after they returned that many and after they had sold that many shares to reduce the ownership from 2% institutional ownership drop, they sold that much to make it fall that much. After that, they got all those that many returned doing that, and then they had to borrow them all again right afterwards, and they were back down to freaking 1.3 million shares today. You see that? Well, they borrowed them all. How are they going to make the price fall at the very end of the afternoon like they did today without borrowing a bunch of more shares to start selling? God, I hope this makes sense to you guys. Then after they borrowed that many shares and only had 1.3 million left, what do they have to do? They have to start buying them again, folks, to return them again. And I wouldn't be surprised to see them suddenly start selling more shares of their long position to try to cover this hole even deeper that they're in. You watch what this share count goes from, especially if institutional owners goes up to 801 or 802 or 803, and this drops down to 35% institutional ownership, people, then you'll know for sure that's what these guys are doing. not just my theory, okay? But that's what I think happened today. I'm just being honest with you. That's what I think happened. And I sure do love seeing this thing green every after hours now. Oh. They destroyed Neo with failure to return. Yeah. Thing of it is, it shouldn't even be legal. But they do it, boy. Oh my God, do they do it? You guys can see how disgusting it is what they do when they had that failure to return and they failed to return on all those shares. Well, I got news for you guys and gals, boys and girls, everybody here on this channel with me now. You better freaking take a look at where all the freaking money's going. When you have someone like this equity fund here coming in and adding 29% today, okay? Well, you got a problem if you're along and you see all these numbers increasing by 29%, increasing by 40%, increasing by 11. This one here, DFOEX, probably one of the ones that was on the list of the ones that are shorting SoFi. Here's another one, increasing their position by 147, increasing by 488, increasing by 300%. This is all today, folks. Look at there, JP Morgan decreasing. Were they the ones? I know they long and short this stock for sure. I know they do. I'm guarantee you that they do because the day they downgraded us to make the price drop on July the 13th, they did that. It would have cost them a lot of money, but they had shorted positions too. So as the price fell, they moved on their shorted positions. And then when it got to 877, they doubled down and went from owning 58 million to now they have 107 million dollars worth of SoFi stock. But check this out, folks. This is just yesterday. This one increasing its position by 773. Nomura Holdings, I took a picture of that. This is one of the ones that's on the short list that are shorting SoFi. And they got rid of all of theirs. Fidelity Zero increases by 9.5. This one here, another index fund increases by 3.25. Another index fund here. These aren't ETFs, folks. They're indexes. They're totally long. They don't trade in and out of a stock. They're just adding to their positions that they already owned. There's 800 people, 800 institutions that own shares in SoFi long only. And they just adding and adding. This one here added, this index fund added right here just yesterday on the 27th, 28% to their portfolio. Be on the lookout, folks. And these ones here, most of these that are losing and selling out of shares are the ones that are shorting us. 731, beautiful. I got 51 people on this here having a beer with me right now. Anthony Nodo doesn't give a damn, though. Every time these guys let it run down, he just buys up a bunch of shares and says, stick it up your ass. One of these days, he's going to stick it up their ass, and he's going to do it in a big way. You guys saw that thing I showed you about Malcolm Etheridge talking about the possibility that there's a buyout coming from Apple or somebody else who's going to buy SoFi out. And I wouldn't doubt that one single bit because they're going to see them now the second quarter in a row profitable. And they're going to, I think there's a, like he said, there's a chance someone will just come along and snap them up. Well, how much do you want for it? Well, Anthony says, I've got reasons to get it to $45, 45 a share. If you want it, take it. Daniel, they're still doing it and it's corrupt illegal. Yeah, they're still doing it. They're shorting the crap out of it. They own more shorted shares than they ever have on this stock as I speak to you all today, right now. And we are in a situation where the retail buyers are not letting up. They keep buying. Recently, we've seen this in the afternoon. Very, very nice to see this at early afternoon gains coming in. And screw you, all you shorts who used your $40 million worth of shares you borrowed to see the price now rising. And I'd be happier than a pig in crap to see this thing over the price where it was when they first started shorting it, and that was at $7.44 a share. And I would just love to see this thing open up on Monday over 744 a share and see a $40 million of bad money that they just threw into the bonfire and might as well have just burned. And you want to know something else, all 51 of you that are here with me right now? I'm happy as hell to see this price today end up where it was. I'm happy to hell as hell to see that today the historical data shows that the price has now gone up from 716 for a low to 717 for a low to 729 for a low. Very fitting. That fits in perfectly with my little 6-month chart. Michael Boda, gracias, muchas gracias por ustedes estar aquí como amigo. Yo no sé, ustedes pueden comprender todo lo que yo diga, pero yo para hablar español, y si es posible, yo digo muchas gracias. Bienvenido. Bon, sí, que bella. All right. From Spain, Uno dos. What happens if SoFi gets bought out? Agree. The price through the roof, my friend. Through the roof, my friend. Come with me to a place where SoFi lingers in the $17 range and drives up to 25 and beyond. And we all get rich beyond our wildest beliefs. Venture into an area of which that will become our paradise, but hell for the shorts. All right. Michael Boda, agree. I'm a wise investor from about 2000 or so, the year 2000, when I won a lot of money on the Wheel of Fortune television show and stunned the competitors with a nice performance. And I used that money to teach me how to trade in the stock market over all the years. And one thing that I learned was that nothing is guaranteed. There are no guarantees, zero. And I want to tell you something, folks. Right now, the only guarantee that I can make for you is I guarantee you, I have never seen SoFi have so many institutions coming in right when they drove this price down each day. This has been phenomenal to see how many institutions are now looking at this opportunity at these prices to gain more shares for the where the perspective is. And when they're driving it down, they're seeing this too. I'm not the only one seeing 47 institutions on the 13th come in when the price was down to 778. And I guarantee you that they took notice on the next day when the price they could only drive it down to 810. And that day they had 140 institutions increase their positions in SoFi when the price was only just to 810 for a low. And again, these are things that have never ever happened with this stock before, people. Okay. Michael Boda. Okay, good for you. Wise decision. But to each new person who's here in the tank with me, I always say, welcome to the tank. Michael, And you're not alone being here visiting me from Spain. There are a lot of people that come over there that are in Spain that come to my channel. I know that. I realize that. And I appreciate that you're getting somebody showing you some love, sending you some hearts in there. So welcome to the tank. And I'm going to also put in a little hi and hello wave to you. Welcome to the tank, Michael. I appreciate you being here. And I like your color, so I'll match that color with a matching wave. So there you go. Boom. You're in there. And to everybody that comes over to this channel each day, you know, the subscription rate has just gone through the roof lately. We're having a lot of subscribers. And one of the things I mentioned I might do a little bit is play you guys a little bit of music. Um, but what we're going to do here first is we're just going to watch SoFi go up in this after hours, aren't we? Looking at this thing rising. How are they going to stop it now? Oh my gosh, look at how they have performed here recently, and they have got their backs against the wall, people. They can't return shares. They've got institutions buying in like Vanguard, and the whole world sees one of the richest companies in the world increase their value by 15% in their portfolio. And everybody goes, God dang, why would Vanguard, financial wizards who have got propelled themselves into one of the largest money-making industries in the world, how could Vanguard buy 15.49% increase, go from 68 million to 81 million shares in their account? Right. Their share count increase went up 19%, everybody. Vanguard. Don't don't be naive. Look at all who's buying here, who's adding to their positions. All right. I see over here. My screen's glitching out on me. I don't know what's happening. But I want to thank you for being here with me, folks. It's getting kind of late in the day. I just wanted to share another brewski with you. Before we say farewell, SoFi looks very good and very quite, to me, very much in the driver's seat. And I would encourage you to look very closely, not at the 1 day chart and what's happening right now, even in the after hours, but more than this, people, and this rise right here that you see, you're going to see more and more of this type of rise from SoFi. All right. And what you need to be more focused on than anything before I leave today is this 200-day moving average on this stock. And the mere fact that the price was right here when SoFi's 547 a share, the 200-day moving average in May of 2023 was sitting right there, people. The 200-day moving average in May was sitting right there at $5.48 in May of last year, 548, and now the 200-day moving average just sits at $8.27. That's where it is. I see where the price is right now today. And that should prove to you that it's definitely oversold because the average share price is $8.20 something. And I leave you with that, my friends. It's a term that the longs love to see, the 200-day moving gradually up. Even with a little curvature down, we've seen that before. We've seen the 200-day way above my trend line and drop all the way down here. See that? We've seen the price fall before from $7.37 and then fall all the way down to right there, which was what? $7.29. And look at the price right here, 7 freaking 30 and 7:31 in the after hours. And here we are right on that line at 7:29, And I bet you she bounces off of this again, just like she did before. What a coincidence where that price would be today. Looking at that line that had raised up here, it was all the way up here at that number that I'm trying to show you right about there. Come on, baby, get on that thing. There it is. 739, and they dropped it all the way down to where this line right here is, and that price happens to be 729 right there on that line. Oh my gosh, everybody, do you see that? And look at the price today, 730, 731 and after hours. What a coincidence, huh? And I say again, from that 739 down to 729, it bounces off that line and it'll do it every time. You can see it. And here they try to take it down. Folks, she's going to fly. She's going off. She's going off. This chart isn't telling you any lies. And this move in the after hours just gives me more reason to believe. And this is right for the taking right here to buy this stock now, double down below the trend line, take off like a bandit, double down below the trend line, take off like a bandit, double down below the trend line, take off like a bandit, double down below the trend line, take off like a freaking bandit, everybody. That's what I see. And since my wife isn't here, for all you men that are listening and a few women, don't be offended, but I call this the herky jerk. Okay? That's what I see, the Sofi herky jerk pattern. And it goes like this. It herky down, it jerkies up. It herkies down, it jerkies up. It herkies down, jerkies up, herkies down, it jerkies way up. Herky down, jerky, herky, jerky, herky, jerky, herky, jerky, herky, jerky, herky, jerky. Herky's down, jerky's up. Herky's to the double bottom below the trend line, and jerky's right off. Catfish, perhaps you could tell us more about yourself when you have the time and patience for it one day. Oh, I do. I have told some people here over the times how I kind of started out way back when I grew up in Winter Haven, Florida, under the influence of my wonderful, terrific parents. My dad, a principal, my mama, librarian, and they were very dedicated to the church. And we went and performed. My mom was a pianist who played by ear. My dad was a leader of the choir and a great vocalist who performed all over the state of Florida, every single venue you can think of, and performed on the radio. My family was from a barbershop quartet radio on Sunday mornings in the Lakeland, Florida area, and sang there. And I used to sit there and listen to that radio play and wonder how they got inside that thing. But there's a long, long history between me and here where we are now, believe me, including my times when I was an infant kid and did crazy things like jump on a little pedal car and drive down the freeway. Someone fortunately pulled over and pulled me off. It wasn't a freeway in Winter Haven, but a highway. And there were many times in my lifetime, at least 10 to 15 times, that I wouldn't even, shouldn't even, and couldn't even have believed that I survived and lived through it. And you wouldn't believe how many times I've come so close to meeting my maker, but there's always been an interference, and in some way or another, I've always pulled through. And so I have very good reason to be very positive. Living out of the country in a third world country when I was 15 years old changed my life forever. And that gives you a little bit of background. That's one of the reasons I speak different languages, because I went to Haiti and I was in a Haitian environment, and definitely a minority down there. The country under the influence of voodoo. Oh, I can click skip ads here so you guys won't have to listen to an ad here. Um, but I appreciate you asking me a little bit about my past. I have been involved in many, many different types of careers in my lifetime. I've been in every field you can almost think of. You would not believe it. Starting from donut making as a youngster and my own paper route, selling my own toys, collecting Coke and Pepsi bottles all over the neighborhood. Because where I grew up was in a grove, and when they started mowing the groves down and building all these houses, all the construction workers would leave these bottles everywhere. And I was an entrepreneur then, like I am now. And I gathered up bottles and cashed them in and had money in my pocket walking around as a kid. And I financed my bubblegum chewing business at school where I sold lollipops or bubble gum. They were blow pops. And I got into the industry of blow pop dealing at school. Folks, I did so many things to generate money over my lifetime, working in from there and up through that into starting at working at a school and working at a nursing. My senior year of school, I didn't even need to go to high school. I only went there to go with the band out to California that year. And I could have graduated after my junior year because I had enough credits. But I took the last year to go with the band to school out to California and march in the Rose Bowl parade. So anyway, that was out of Winter Haven, Florida. After I had returned from Haiti, where I was for 2 years, I graduated my senior year. I was lucky to get to graduate there at Winter Haven. And, but I was there in Haiti when I was 15, 16, 17. I've been back several times since then. And that gives you a little bit more of my background. Um, and then after that, man, worked at everything you can think of, bagging groceries as a youngster, when I was 16, and then working at Tom McCann selling shoes. And boy, if I went through my list of things I did, worked as an electrician for a long time. I used to wire houses and commercial business and stuff. And I've worked in every field, driven limousines in my past in Houston, Texas. Um, go on and on and on, man. I tell you, right? I picked tobacco when I was in college to have extra money. Yeah, picked and hung tobacco in those black tobacco barns that are 116 degrees up in there and just sweating yourself to death. Oh man. I've worked in ditches, I've dug ditches, I've done a lot of electrical underground. I've used a shovel in my life. I've worked in construction, I've worked in building, I've done and delivered sheetrock. I've driven delivery trucks for different companies. I've driven big rigs and flatbeds and all that and delivered all types of materials all over the countryside. I've also worked as a water ski at a water ski place called Cypress Gardens. And man, I've water skied my whole life since I was just a tadpole, man. I could water ski and I've skied with the best in the world. Sammy Duvall, good skied with Scarpas, both Ron and Glenn Scarpa, who hold world records in water skis, and they're all my good friends. And we had a good time in Winter Haven, Florida, where I grew up, in the city of lakes galore. And that tells you a little bit about my water skiing background. And I have a lot of friends that are still there in the South and all over the place of Texas, where I played in a band. And I was in a band for 2.5 years, touring the countryside all over going everywhere, even down in the Caribbean and playing. And I still have a band to this day, believe it or not, Small Fortune, and I don't play in it, but we're still worldwide, and our music's heard all over the world. You can tune into us on your music provider if you have Spotify, Google Music, Apple Play, any of those. You'll hear us under my name, Tyler Self. You have to look up TYLERSELPH. And if you stream my music, I'd appreciate that. And I think you'll like it. I have music from artists on YouTube all over the world. I've created music with people from everywhere, from people from Spain, people from Germany, people from France, people from Norway, people from all over the globe. I've created music with Brazil. Uh, yeah, I have a lot of people. My influences from everywhere. So if you want to tune in to my music, go on over and check it out, and you can find it easily online or easily on YouTube. And aside from that, I've also worked in many, many, many other fields. I've managed many a pizza restaurant in my time. I know a lot about making pizza, people. Uh-oh. And I got something going on here with my screen. It just fell over on me and I had to reapply it. And now it's doing something weird. But at any rate, this image that was over on my monitor just went away. HDMI 1. Oh, come on. Hold on, folks. Be patient. HDMI 1. Where'd me signal go? There we go. Back over here. Boom. Come on over to that monitor. There it is. Okay. We got it back going on. You can see something weird is happening with this computer door right now. And like somebody mentioned to me the other day, it might be time to get myself a new one. We got something going on here right now. Weird. Uh, I can't even see it. There we go. It's coming back up. There it is. Now we got to move these back over here. There we go. Now we got it fixed. Ah. And now we have this pulling back up over here where I can see what you guys are saying, if anything. I've also gone to college in Wilmore, Kentucky. After I was in high school, I went to college in Wilmore, Kentucky. And I've worked in the lighting business and selling lighting for lighting showrooms all in Houston, Texas, and on Fondren Road. I've worked in major construction where I built the interior of a place, one of the lighting companies there on that music row in Fondren Street in Houston, Texas. And I've also done many, many, many other things in my lifetime. Like I said, I've worked in the bar business. I've been in the bar business in Orlando and Ocala, Florida. Uh, I worked there as also an electrician, and I worked in lighting in that area as well. I've worked in horticulture businesses. I worked at Gatorland Zoo in Orlando, Florida, down near Kissimmee, and I did the Gator Jumperoo show for about a year or so. And I've also been in the automobile business. And as I told you when I started telling you about my resume, you probably wouldn't believe all the jobs that I've worked in my lifetime. And the reason why is because I like the diversity. The I like just the experience learning. I've been a hot shot driver before, people. I've managed water bedroom and water bedroom land in Houston, Texas. I've managed that store. I've managed many different locations. Men's clothing store, Mark 6 out of Ocala, Florida. When I was going to college in Ocala, I also went into college in Ocala, Florida, where my uncle happens to be was the professor of music there, and I've studied music. And like I said, I've been in a band, and I have a lot of music online on YouTube. I have over 126 original songs, and many of them are with professional studio cuts and with videos too. And so if you're interested, go on over to my YouTube channel, which is right down below me, and you can look down there and you can look at my music online. I want to thank you for being here with me today, everybody, on this channel. Sofi is blazing a new trail. Sofi's making new things occur. Sofi's got it going on, everybody. And I'm just part of a big, big, big move here of SoFi, and I'm going to be rich off this stock. I already have made tons off of it because of the day trading and the ability of this big swings that it's made. And each and every one of you who is on this channel can do the same dang thing with me if you just start paying attention to the numbers. And one of the numbers that I would have told you to sell at today, that they're almost listening to me. It says almost they're listening to me, because one of the numbers that you would have had on your sheet of paper or your sell orders in today was at $7.48. And look at today's high, 747. Almost as if they were listening to me, folks. It's on my sheet, on my sell sheet. Now, I know this sell sheet shows you numbers that are in the eights, but I'm going to show you that right here, one of the numbers that I have to sell here, 748. which would mean if we're in the sevens, if it was going up and up and up, you'd sell it at 748 instead of 848. Then buy it back, it says, at 841 to 843. Well, hell, you could have bought it a lot cheaper than that if you sold it today at that number 847 instead of the 848 or 747. All right. Did it fall from 747 down to 741 to 743? Hell, it fell a lot further than that. So again, these numbers I have on here, they're for reasons, and it's almost like they're listening now to what I'm telling you guys. And they're like, all right, well, we're not going to let it go to 748 because that guy keeps telling everybody to sell there. So we'll just do it at 747 and screw it. And I tell you, then the next time you just go in just below it, one more with half of your shares at price 1 penny below. If they're going to start listening and telling you to get the high 1 penny below where I'm asking you to sell it, then damn it. That's all I can say. Ah. What am I doing here? What in the heck am I doing? I got to get this out of my view. There it is. All right. I guess I'm done here, folks. I got my wife out there chatting it up. It sounds like we might have some visitors. I got to get on out of here. It's been fun with you today. Thank you for all of you hitting the like button again on this second broadcast. I know we didn't have nearly as many people come on back after we lost signal today. There's nothing I can do about the signal losses. It's the supplier of the channel to me. It's not me. It's not on my end. My computer's not shutting down. It's just the stupid freaking signal gets completely lost like what happened today. So, thank you very much for being here with me. My Sofi blue big mug. I'm almost out of water. It's been very fun. I appreciate your time. As always, I know there's many other places you could spend your time, but at this time of the day, I am going to say farewell. And man, it looks like we're running in virtually real time here, so that's cool. And let me get on out of here. Let me say goodbye to you, and we'll see you on Monday. All right. Thanks for all of your comments today and gifts. I'm going to post that first, and then I'm going to post. We'll see you all Monday morning. And have a wonderful Easter. All right. Now, I do see there is a delay here of about 2 minutes. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to give you 2 minutes or so to respond if you want to say anything back to me, because I like to be kind and do that and not catch people off by surprise. And so I'm going to do that. Because sometimes I've been on with other people and they start to get say goodbye, and I don't get a chance to say farewell to them. Uh, there we go. So have yourself a wonderful Easter, everybody, and thank you again for your presence here today. And we're going to have a good week, next month, oh, it's just going to get better and better for us. As the time goes by, folks, we're going to beat these people on this game. They're going to keep having to sell those long positions on it, and they're going to keep having to get themselves deeper and deeper into that pit. And then SoFi is going to keep making more and more money and stealing more and more shares and more people away, converting them all over and making more and more money. And they're just going to perform, folks. All right. Have a happy Easter, everybody. I've given you now a couple of minutes. And I wish you a blessed one. End stream. Come up here. Boop. And I'm ready to say farewell, or should I hit not yet? I'll hit not yet, and I'll make sure that nobody wants to say anything else. Goodbye. And sometimes, man, it's amazing. I got 21 people on this channel with me right now. Just believe me. Double, double bop, double, double bop, double, double bop, double, double bop, double, double bop. Okay? She's going, baby. That's all I'll say. All right. There is definitely nobody else left in here that wants to leave me a message, so I'm going to end it now. And like I always do tell you, God bless y'all. I hope they're surrounded with happiness, healthiness, great investments, and most of all, that you're surrounded with love because you deserve it. Bye bye.